Yeah, I'm interested to see what Derby are doing here. They've got three members looking to go towards the B side, but they are just playing things safe. Aston are nice and spread. They're really prioritizing this mid control at the moment, just leaving Revan there to make stuff happen on the site for B. And now Derby looking to group up, maybe go for this. That's going to be sucked, caught out. He gets taken down, and Big Daddy Vac, as you said, with the USP just cutting through everyone. He takes down the last member of Aston, or second last member, Shadow Skyhawk, down to just 10 HP. Now Elmo going to get fragged on out. That's going to do the trick, and the AWP comes through for Zephyr as well. He finds himself that 2k almost instantly, and that is huge stuff from Aston once more.
And Aston get completely bottlenecked there by only 2 players, and that's exactly the right way to play that close position there on the opening of Garage. If you have just the single player there up close, it's very easy to rush out and take them, especially with Tech 9s, but if you have an AWPer as well on the white box, or somewhere else in mid, it means that they can't just freely go and peek that, and now they're going to have to rush B to try and get themselves back into this.
This is not gone well though, because here's Revan. There's Big Daddy Vac, and they're just going to clean house. And 7-1, we saw Derby last week take it really close up against Loughborough. If you remember that game we jumped into overtime last week, Jack. It was a close game, second overtime.
Absolutely.
And Loughborough took out Aston in our final game last week. But at the moment, Aston just stepping right up. Derby seemed to be nowhere.
Maybe last week was a bit of a wake-up call for Aston, because it was on this map as well, so they've gone, rather than licking their wounds, they've gone straight back to cash, and they are surely doing a much better of this CT this time around, and it's because there's always somebody here to trade. Look at positioning. You've got Zephyr and Big Daddy Vac absolutely holding down mid. Having Big Daddy Vac in that close position, he can get through the vents really quickly. So again, it was him that threw the Molotov there in the last round and stopped the stack. So they're playing the map in a way that you have to on cash. There's always at least somebody to trade the kills back.
Really, Derby need to try and work out what's up for them. Zephyr going to find a shot through. This has not gone well for Derby as they're trying to take this A side, but there's just so many Aston members there. They're going to trade kills back and forth, and now just Elmo is left, and that's going to be Big Daddy Vac spotting that one out, able to survive through the spray of Elmo. And Aston looking to take a really demanding round here, and unless Derby able to change things up, this is going to be a steal as far as a half goes.
And these rounds are going so quickly as well that it's very difficult to collect yourselves and get your thoughts together if you're Derby. But now they're on max loss bonus. They're back on the full buy with 5 AKs. But they need to get hold of mid somehow, and challenging it like that is not going to do it for them. Zephyr easily picking off Elmo there. And once they lose mid, you see they're not really sure what to do with themselves. They know they need mid if they want to attack A against this team, because going main hasn't worked for them. But they can't overcome this defense. Although getting Big Daddy Vac off the board does help them. Derby did a really fantastic job there, actually, finally being able to get into mid. Big Daddy Vac maybe a little bit overzealous, especially through that smoke. They take him off the board, but then they just hung around a little bit too long in mid. They weren't quite sure where the CTs were, and no strong call clearly came out from the IGL. So it enabled the CTs to just sort of flock around them, surround them, and pick them off from all directions. And they weren't really checking those angles. So Derby, back to the drawing board a bit for them. They've still forced up into the round as much as they can, but they are running into this 5 Molotov and AWP setup. It's just going to be so hard for them to get into the sites here.
Now we have to try and work out what Aston able to do here to hold on to this lead. Well, really, it's Derby that needs to make the change up. They're the ones struggling through this, and they've got the guns available. It's just sick, I guess, on that USP. Sorry, not USP, UMP. The UMP. What can
the
you do
one
with it?
opening here for Derby is that Aston are not making information pushes that frequently. Occasionally Big Daddy's pushing spots, but really he's not, so they could play the B site with 4 and then just leave one person mid to control mid, stop the quick rotates through the vents, and that might give them a shot.
Well, let's see what they can do here. They've got members stacked up towards that mid garage. Bomb sitting there at the moment, but Derby trying to play a time game. Just Assassin solo holding that A site. Carnival rotating from Z connector up towards truck. So that will be 2 members sitting on A. And it looks like the push throughs come through now. Looks like it's going to be Sock trying to make his way through. And he's actually going to spot out Revan. Assassin's gone down as well. They've split their forces and Aston don't know where they're going. They don't know if it's going to be an A push or a B push, but now they might have some information as the bomb goes down on B. They know it's not A. It's a 2 versus 3 for Aston, and Carnival just 5 HP, going to be struggling to do this. And will Aston just give this one up, or will they try and make the hero play? Looks like they're going for that hero play. The spray through into checkers, but there's no one there. Everyone on the site for Derby. They're looking to both come through balcony here onto heaven. Bomb still ticking. Can Derby make the move? That's going to be sick. Finding one up close with the UMP. Gets taken out by the AWP from Zephyr, but that is it. Derby able to find a round for themselves, and now they're looking to try and lick their wounds here, Jack. Can they get some more rounds on the board?
Well, you certainly hope so. 9-6 might just be doable for them, especially on a slightly CT-sided map. And I was talking about how they needed to attack the B site, but rather than being cut up from the mid-rotate from Big Daddy Vac, they needed to leave one player mid to at least tie him down. And Jorts did more than that. He actually killed Big Daddy Vac. So that B-take was really all because this time they supported the retake with some presence in mid too. And that meant they weren't able to pull off those really fast rotates. And that really is the key, I think, to taking the B site on this map. Really good for them to get on the board and steal back an AWP too. They need to keep going for mid.
Ooh, got a bit of a glitch going on there with Revan's holographic sticker. Just floating away. That's because he's got himself one. So celebrating with a floating sticker. You can get that on your store, I'm assuming. But at the moment, it's looking alright for Aston. They managed to get themselves that man advantage. Looks like Derby wanting to push onto this A site. There are 2 members there. It's going to be Assassin who spots out Jorts, but gets taken out. Now Zeph comes through with his NWP. Carnival has rotated as well. Zephyr trying to go some duck hunting. Not quite connecting the shots that he needs to, and the smokes have come out, and lovely flanked by Elmo, able to take out that AWPer, but gets traded himself. Now Revan's here is going to spot out Skyhawk, who runs across, and that was risky stuff. Not checking your angles, and Aston able to punish.
That's the issue, not checking the angles. Derby did a good job, made some good shots on Assassin and Zephyr, just sneaking through that smoke, but for some reason they're not really thinking about where the rotations are coming from Aston. And they had a player mid and they had a player B, so you know, it's pretty much a given that you have to check highway, you have to check van if you haven't taken those positions as you're attacking the A site, and they don't look, and they pay for it with their lives and getting knocked back again economically. And look, they're on a complete force here now. This is probably all they can spend because they want a full gun round for the last round and a half, and it's just going to be really hard for them to rub pennies together now, especially after they got reset by winning that one round.
This is going to be them trying to push onto this B site, but are we going to call him Suck? I think Suck is like the best version. SU10KT. So it's either.
I think John called him Sutek once. Was it Sutek?
Sutek?
I don't know.
Ooh, Sutek. I like it. I'll go with that.
Sulocked.
I just go sucked because I ignore the numbers, but Sutek I can deal with that. But Sutek and his team just falling apart. Obviously a bit of an eco round for themselves. This P250 for Sek, and Jorts does have quite a lot there. He could be the raid boss for Derby, but at the moment it's not looking good for them. 50 seconds left on the clock, and Sek gonna get taken out. 10. Jorts find the kill, he does, but down to 8 HP, and now hunting is open. Going to be Zephyr failing to do so, drops his AWP, and wow, look at the rotations that come through. Jorts has found himself on the A site clear. He hasn't pushed right through. Carnival going to watch with the AWP. Will Jorts play this one safe? Assassin from Squeaky, and that's easy peasy.
He nearly died, actually. He was only on 6 HP when those shots came through from Assassin, from Squeaky, so I thought he was going to spray him just through that door because he was on such low HP. And then he just doesn't check Squeaky, so he knows from the spray they suspect someone's there, and he's not thinking it. So maybe Derby just need to have a little bit more going on in their heads about, trying to mind game where Aston are coming from. And again, a bit of a throw around. They're back on the Tech 9 armour by here, and that is, they're going to go for that round 15 4-buy, and this has not gone well at all.
Not at all. Zephyr just cleaning house. Big Daddy Vac there as well to make the kills happen, and Aston just forcing their dominance, really. It's been the story of this game. Big Daddy Vac looking for that big 4K and he will find it. And Aston 12-2, round 15 now. Derby want to just get that last round win for themselves if they can.
Yeah.
Try and just make something happen because it's not looking good.
No, it's a pretty desperate situation they found themselves in, and they've just had a few too many. I think thoughtless might sound a bit harsh, but there just seems to be this lack of sort of mind gaming. What are Aston going to do? And you can see it in the way they're just doing these rush traps, that maybe they've got to the point where, like, well, they're just thinking about the next game now.
Not a bad start. They are a man down. Could still happen for Derby as they've got the men on the B site. They just need to get that bomb over there as well, and they'll be in a pretty good position. That's great by Sutek, and it's gonna be Assassin coming through, finds the spray. It's a 3 versus 2 as they're looking to try and make stuff happen, and there's the trade. Sutek takes out Assassin. Has to be careful by the rotating members of Aston. Zephyr gonna come through tree. Gonna be Carnival coming through vents, and they need to face up. That's one going down. Zephyr finds a shot, going to rotate around. He's going to find the second for himself. Nice stuff from Zephyr, and that's going to be Aston closing this one out. 13-2 as Carnivore. Bit cheeky, but who cares? Last round, and you're going to take that for yourself. And who cares? Last round, and you're going to take that for yourself. And Aston so convincing. These guys are second on our leaderboard. Currently second in points, and you can see why this is such a good team.
Yeah, this is just a completely different looking Aston side from the one that we saw just last week on this map. And I think a lot of it is the fact that they've been able to get themselves that CT side first. I think certainly last week, the comeback that they began to pull off, and things got a bit close, and they made it out for a long time with Loughborough sitting on round 15, and that was on CT side. So maybe this team is just a lot happier on CT side, and it's a stronger CT side than we saw last week even, a lot more complementary positioning. So let's see what they've got for us on this pistol round. Derby really have to get this if they want a shot in this match. A lovely little cheeky position there from Jort, just the right place to be, because not only does Zephyr still alive, but he had the Kevlar, so probably worth a shot, always worth a shot really on the pistol round. And that was exactly what Derby needed if they wanted to give themselves a shot in this game. Already the rifle on attack, he's brought down to 0. P90, UMPs, and only Shadow Skyhawk, they're opting for that MP7 to try and pick up the extra money, and they really need to try and get some bank going and get rolling. Got to be perfect for them here on out. And they reset the CT economy, so Derby are coming to this 14-3, and the pantry is absolutely bare. They have got nothing really to rub together. The UMP, a bit of armor, Tech doesn't even have a helmet, barely any nades. This is a pretty horrible situation for Derby CSGO to find themselves in. Oh, that run boost. I see Aston clutches, killing each other to get the bomb plant for the MVP, doing run boosts into heaven. These guys are having a ton of fun, and why not? Their aim is just looking so good. They've clearly been hitting the aim maps, and their positioning as well. On that CT side, they're playing absolutely beautifully, so they are on the cusp of a very well-deserved victory. Derby here have just got to throw a Hail Mary and try and get something. What a dominating performance. Oh yeah, they had some very impressive games. They've had some really impressive games, so I don't know how they've been bodied like this by Aston, but 16-3, it sort of speaks volumes. These kinds of scorelines can happen between pro teams, so clearly this is an Aston team that beaten in a pretty tough game last week, where they tried to grind it out to 16-8, but couldn't really overcome Loughborough. They've hit the aim maps, they've done some Cash VOD review, and they've come in against Derby and thought, right, well, the next team we see on Cash, we're going to atone for that. And Derby, unfortunately, were the victims of this revitalised Aston side. And the positioning on CT side, as I was saying, there's just always somebody there to get the fast rotate through vents, always somebody there to get the trade. They were always winning those gun duels because they've clearly been doing some aim practice as well. And Derby really didn't know what hit them. And there were so many rounds where they were just sitting in a garage with the bomb down and being like, what the hell do we do against this? Because nothing was working for them. And it almost seemed like that they gave up maybe a little bit towards the end of that game. So they're going to have to go into game 2 and get their thoughts together. And that is the nice thing about having a fast game here at the NUEL, because of course the other games are probably still ongoing because this was so rapid. So they've got a nice 15-20 minute break now to try and recollect themselves, work out what went wrong. If I'm Derby, maybe I'm thinking maybe we won't play Cash against the Cash team next round, because Aston have played Cash enough and on stream that they should know that Aston love playing this map. So Derby, maybe stay away from that map for now. There's so many teams that don't want to play Mirage, Overpass, Cobble. If they can slip one of those maps into the through pick and bans, they've probably got a good shot if they've practiced it at all, because so many teams don't. So maybe they need to get away from Cobble. But Aston, what a great performance from them.
Absolutely. And hello guys, you can now hear me. Apparently I've been muted for most of this broadcast, Jack. So you've been upholding the solo cast for us. It's been fine. It's a bit of a troll cast, this one, unfortunately. Had so many things go wrong tonight that next game will be perfect. I'm telling you, fingers crossed. Next game, you guys are going to love it. But this game was fantastic. What I was saying before, whilst I was rudely cutting myself off with my beautiful production skills, is that I love Aston University's esports spirit. You know, they've kind of the people, and this is not Aston University as a university as much as it's the people who go to Aston University. They've just set themselves this goal of being the best esports university, and for League of Legends they surprised everyone last season. Now in CSGO for the summer tournament, the Aston Clutches currently second on our table, trying to make things happen. And as you said, Jack, so many times in the last game, this Aston Clutches squad seems to have really gone to the drawing board and just said, right, well, let's try and improve our fundamentals of CSGO, you know, jump on an aim map, play a couple of, you know, set plays with each other and just look to take it to LU Brexit next time we happen to be up against these guys. And I'm loving the spirit from them.
And talking of next time they happen to be up against these guys, that could potentially be next game. And I don't know you, which map do you think they're going to pick?
Cash.
I think it's going to be Cash. Well, they've clearly done a lot of work, and look, if they play the CT side like that, and if they can get CT first, I think Aston can be the ones to topple them.
Definitely have to see what happens as we'll be going to round 2 of the NUEL Summer Tournament. Week 3, CSGO, all those words very shortly. For now, we'll chuck you to a short intermission break. When we return, we'll have you another beautiful game of CSGO. Don't go anywhere.